Legato is a tricky issue when it comes to making your technique healthier. A lot of things sound better when we connect the notes together on the keyboard, but we need to avoid any feeling of excessive holding in the arms. The goal is to be holding without really holding. I'm going to explain what that is and how to do it in this video. To be clear, there are absolutely places in pieces of music that are written legato where it's either impossible to connect the notes with the fingers or we're better off doing it with the pedal. Today, I'm going to talk about when you do want to play connected legato with your fingers, how to do it in a way that's physically sound. There are three important concepts that need to be integrated to play with healthy legato. The first of those is constant arm weight. Whatever group of notes you're playing that you want to be legato, you have to feel your arm weight present from the beginning to the end of that group. This can be practiced on anything you want, could be a short scale or a piece of melody. But to work on it, what you want to feel is a slight overlap between the keys. So these two notes, I'm going to feel both of them before I get off the first note. Then you can make the overlap smaller and work it back into the real rhythm of the piece. The next thing you need is to be able to release the fingers while still being on the keys. It's helpful to remember how exactly a piano works, and it's a lot like a percussion instrument in that the sound is made at the moment of attack. The hammer hits the string, then it's going to continue vibrating no matter what I do on the key. The articulation of the fingers at the piano mirrors that mechanical action. So we play a note, there's a small finger articulation that helps to make the sound, and then it's immediately released. After the note's played, I'm not pulling with my finger anymore, I'm just resting on the supportive structure of the fingertip to elbow. This can be practiced by using an exaggerated forward movement from the elbow. So on each note, I'm going to come forward and up. I feel the finger articulating and instantly releasing, and then I'm simply finding the structure that's going to support my weight. If you go a little bit faster, then you can take out the individual elbow strokes and then still feel the release of the fingers as you go. That brings me to the third element, which is continuous movement. As I'm moving from one note to another, I'm finding the individual shapes and alignments of the fingers. So my hand is moving from the 5 to the 4, 3. You can stop on any note and see if you have the right alignment by releasing some weight and seeing if the structure supports you. And a good way to find it, if it's not quite right, is to repeat the note a few times so it engages the forearm movement, and then release your weight onto it again. To keep moving on the keyboard, we're also going to use movements like coming on and off the keys, and that gives momentum in the arm, or using things like the wheel. So the wheel is when notes are going up and down, we turn it into a circular pattern. I've picked out a few examples of pieces where legato is especially important, and I'm going to play a little bit, tell you what I'm thinking about and working on along the way. The first one is Chopin's Prelude in B minor, number 6 from Opus 28. It's a great place to practice overlapping the keys on the left-hand melody. And then when you minimize it, you just feel a smooth arm movement across all of those notes. You can also check at any point if you are actually releasing the fingers. So there shouldn't be any pulling still happening at the finger, but just enough tone and alignment of the structure that your weight can rest on it. Next I have Schubert's Moment Musical No. 4 in C# minor. There are lots of different intervals in the right hand, and we want to keep it as consistently legato as we can. This third, because of the black key on the thumb, it doesn't feel that comfortable, but you can still find a feeling of resting on each key, on the thumb and on the two, and then pass between them with a slight overlap. And you can get it to feel pretty stable. In measure 15, the intervals get a bit awkward for the right hand, but you can use the same principle. Feel the shape, overlap a little bit, and don't forget the intervals that go from the offbeat to the beat. So like the seventh and the octave, we want to try to feel them all. There might be small breaks in the legato when you play something like that at speed, but the feeling of consistent arm weight and passing across the notes is the same. The wheel is also very useful in this one because you have lots of 3-note groups in the right hand going up and down. So we're going to turn those into down on the thumb and up on the pinky, and use that to make the movement smooth and circular. The last example is Chopin, again, Opus 25 No. 2, the Etude in F minor. And what I want to point out here is about arm weight. Arm weight is constant across legato notes, but it's not consistent. So we can actually modulate the amount of arm weight that's on the keys by using our body. And in this case, the sound is light, it's marked piano. So this one shouldn't feel like your weight is walking on the key bed exactly. It's more like your weight is just enough to counteract the upward force of the keys themselves. It feels light without holding up the arm because it's being controlled from the center of the body. That's all for now. If you try any of these things out, or if you have questions or anything to add, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.